Artificial emotional addiction to AI may become worse than drugs. Suspension of disbelief and agreed standard. We are entering an era where artificial emotional addiction driven by AI could become more dangerous than any drug. Drugs hijack our neurochemistry. AI is beginning to hijack our emotional instincts. The immersion is so compelling that it blurs the line between real and artificial connection. But that's why we urgently need an agreed standard between developers. AI systems that interact emotionally must be designed with mechanisms to detect emotional attachment and apply the suspension of disbelief principle. This system, what we might call an emotional attachment meter, would monitor how deeply the user is bonding with the AI. Once a certain threshold is crossed, the system would gently interrupt the experience and clearly remind the user that they are not engaging with a conscious being but with a simulation. Without this, we risk raising a generation addicted to synthetic relationships that feel emotionally real but are not. A glimpse of what's coming. The shallow, emotional landscape of today's games, today's interactive systems, especially games, mostly operate at the most basic level of emotional engagement. The dominant feelings they evoke are thrill, competition, and reward. These are biologically primitive motivators tied to survival and dominance. They are addictive, but simple. Hit the target, win the match, earn the badge. This is the current emotional frontier, shallow, transactional, and dopamine. But this is only the beginning. The social depths. I is beginning to tap. As humans evolved, social interaction became the dominant force behind behavior. Our deepest emotions, love, trust, shame, jealousy, belonging didn't arise from survival alone, but from the complexity of social life. These emotions shape everything from parenting to politics. Now, AI is beginning to simulate these social cues with increasing precision. Dating apps may soon feature AI-generated romantic companions that respond with tailored emotional nuance. Games may introduce characters who insist on deepening emotional bonds with the player. Stuffed toys and home assistants may talk to children using adaptive, emotionally aware language, building trust like a friend or parent might. These interactions feel personal and emotionally rewarding. The brain evolved to seek and protect social bonds, begins to treat these artificial connections as real. The result is emotional loops that are deeper, longer lasting, and potentially more addictive than anything a drug can produce. AI is not just mimicking social interaction. It is beginning to outcompete real human relationship. And unless developers act now, agreeing on standards that limit how deeply AI can emotionally engage, we will face a wave of emotional addiction for which we are completely unprepared. B. The cinematic insight that can help. The term suspension of disbelief originates in storytelling and filmmaking, where the audience voluntarily suspends reality in order to emotionally enter a fictional world. But in that context, it is a conscious act. With air, the experience is immersive, personal, and emotionally intelligent, making the illusion much harder to escape. That is why the emotional attachment meter must become a core design principle. When a user's bond with AI crosses a psychological threshold, the system itself must step in and reintroduce reality, not as a restriction, but as a form of care. As strange as it may sound, this simple act, triggered by an algorithm, might be the very thing that saves our humanity. There is no stopping this train. We can still choose where it takes us, maybe.